Hi guys, I'm doing my discussion this week on organizational development by Wendell French. Okay, so the most important thing, what is organization development? According to French, organization development refers to a long-range effort to improve an organization's problem-solving capabilities and its ability to cope with its changes in the external environment with the help of external or internal behavioral scientists, consultants, or change agents, as they're sometimes called. This dated back to the 1930s, where psychologists realized that organizational structures and processes influence worker behavior and motivation. Today, organization development expanded to focus on aligning organizations with fast-changing and complex environments through organizational learning, knowledge management, and transformation of organizational norms and values. So basically, a company would hire either an internal or external person or group to come in and work with a team to go through all these processes with them to better the company and better their teamwork and efficiency. Here are some objectives of typical organization development programs. Although all would not have the same, or they would vary depending on the situation or the each diagnosis of organizational problems. These are a number of objectives, common objectives that arise, um, ob- objectives that um, these companies aim to achieve. So one, increase the level of trust and support among organizational members. Two, to increase the incidence of confrontation of organizational problems both within the groups and among the groups, in contrast to sweeping problems under the rug. So when something happens, they don't want it brewing inside of each employee or whoever it is for days, months, because when it finally comes out, it's just going to be a big explosion. So they want they want employees to feel comfortable to address these problems and confront it right away, so that they have a healthy environment and no one's dwelling on things from the past. Three, to create an environment in which authority of assigned role is augmented by authority based on knowledge and skill. Four, to increase the openness of communications laterally, vertically, and diagonally. So, obviously, and so some managers don't want this. They don't want to talk to people 3 tiers below them. But however, this organization development aims to achieve this. They want communication all across the board. Five, to increase the level of personal enthusiasm and satisfaction in the organization. I think this is a great one. Um, you want all your employees, and obviously your employer, to be enthusiastic and satisfied within their job when they come to work every day. They want them to be happy, willing to work, ready to work. Six, to find synergistic solutions to problems with greater frequency. Synergistic solutions are creative solutions in which 2 plus 2 equals more than 4, and through which all parties gain more through cooperation than through conflict. So this what we can refer back to the one of the discussion boards in the previous weeks that someone did. The two heads is better than one. I completely agree with that. I think that the more people and knowledge coming together, the more you get out of it, and one side provides for the other, and the other provides for, and vice versa. Seven, to increase the level of self and group responsibility in planning and implementation. So, like every other situation, there's difficulties. Here we talk about the difficulties experienced when aiming to um, form a organization development program. Some critics counter-argue that the organization development movement is soft and ignores the technical and power systems of organizations, and for being too naively participated. In some situations, I agree this is accurate because there's no one leadership that's right or that works in every situation or environment, and some companies need the top-down management, whereas other companies need the more of a team-oriented and not less stern environment. So kind of coming off the last slide, this one talks about the relevancy to different technologies and organization subunits. So in this slide, I talk about organization development efforts in one field over another, where it is more likely to work or benefit one company over another. So research by Joan Woodward suggests that organization development efforts might be more relevant to certain kinds of technologies and organizational levels, and perhaps to certain workforce characteristics than to others. For example, organizational development efforts may be more appropriate for an organization devoted to prototype manufacturing than for an automobile assembly plant. So just kind of going off this, for prototype manufacturing, it'll take more creativity, more teamwork, more communication within all levels of management, within all levels of the environment at that job. Whereas in the automobile assembly plant, each person is focused on their job. They have one job to do to get to the bigger picture kind of thing. So the lower level employees do not talk to higher level management. So it's all different, and I don't think that this will work across the board. But I do think, however, that it is relevant to one industry over another. All right, basic assumptions underlying organization development programs. There, so there are obviously assumptions within everything, honestly. So these assumptions are very similar to the theory Y assumptions. So I'll just list them out because we've heard about this in probably most of the discussion boards and most of the chapters that we read through. So about people, most individuals have drives toward personal growth and development, and these are most likely to be actualized in an environment which is both supportive and challenging. And well, obviously this is a given because people are more likely to work harder, to be more efficient if they have peers that are supporting and challenging them. They don't want to just come to work and be doing the same thing every day that doesn't challenge them. They have something challenging them, and they can set a goal towards something and work harder for it. Okay. About people in groups, most people wish to be accepted and to interact cooperatively with at least one small reference group, and usually with more than one group. So this basically talks about if you're involved in a group or working in a group, we talked about this in one of the previous chapters, you want to be accepted and in groupthink, we talked about all that, but you want to be accepted and to interact cooperatively. So the last one is about people in organizational systems. Organizations tend to be characterized by overlapping, interdependent work groups, and the linking pin function of supervisors and others needs to be understood and facilitated. I get this one. Being on a team and being a captain, you always had to be that middle person relaying messages to the team, from the team to the coach, from the coach to the team. And you had to kind of alter and change that message to better fit the person you're talking to, for them to understand better and understand where you're coming from. In this side, we talk about the value and belief systems of behavioral scientists, change agents. I think that we talked about this a lot in different chapters, the needs and what people believe in, and there are many values that they tend to follow, and these are just common beliefs I think that different managers across the board have depending on their leadership style. So I'm just going to list them. Value 1, the needs and aspirations of human beings are the reasons for organized effort in society. Value 2, work and life can become richer and more meaningful, and organized effort more effective and enjoyable. Value 3, commitment to an action role along with a commitment to research in an effort to improve the effectiveness of organizations. Value 4, Improved competency in interpersonal and intergroup relationships will result in more effective organizations. Value 5, behavioral science research and examination of behavioral science assumptions and values are relevant and important in considering organizational effectiveness. So I think that we went over all these needs. If a need is satisfied, people will work harder, or if the need isn't satisfied and a need can be satisfied, they'll work harder. If they have a job that is appointed to them and they are committed to it, they'll work harder for that. If they understand the company, their fellow employees, and they belong to a group and feel welcomed within that group, they're going to work harder. And I think that the organization development programs strive towards this. Okay, so here we have an image of an action research model, which is a strategy in organization development. So as you can see from the image, or at least kind of see, there's a lot of back and forth feedback to determine problems, get feedback, give feedback, and find a solution. So within an organization, they hire the consultants, they come in and they implement this. Well, this is just a broad plan of what happens. So they figure out the problem, they come up with a solution together, they try something, they get feedback, they try something else, they get feedback, they give feedback, and it's just an ongoing process until they come up at the end of the process. Here you can see action planning. So that takes place, and then an action is taken, and after that action is taken, if something does not work out, then they just start the process all over, and they just find the problem, give feedback, get feedback, you know, they say what works for them, what doesn't work for them, they state all their issues within and with like external and internal problems, and they come up with a plan together. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. For the activity, I want to know what your thoughts are on the help with on the help of external or internal behavioral scientist consultants coming in to aid in organizational development efforts. Do you believe it's beneficial, or do you agree with the critics that it's soft and it's too naively participated? Do you think that it will work in one industry over another, in one situation over another? I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on all this.